Hey friends, that old panda here on another video. As of recently, I've released a ton of different shorts and videos and things for lovely Resident Evil Requiem, and it's been what a wonderful game. Just absolutely riveting. So many good parts of that game that I've greatly enjoyed. Grace is awesome. And I released a number of different things that I encountered during my playthrough. Oh, hey, there it is. That's Tofu. During some of the major Easter eggs that is in the RPD. And I felt inclined, since I'm going to be doing a stream this week, actually for AMD and a few other things as well, actually going over all the different Tofu runs on Resident Evil 2 Remake and references also with Resident Evil 9. So, what is the Tofu Survivor? Well, in 1998, when Resident Evil 2, one of the greatest little games in the Resident Evil series, as well as one of the great titles that I have, released, and it had a number of different modes when you actually played the game. When it came to Resident Evil 2 and you completed the different scenarios, the A and B scenario for Leon and Claire, so for a total of 4 times in a row, you were able to unlock a number of different modes. One of these modes happened to be called the Fourth Survivor. In case you're wondering what the Fourth Survivor is, hi puppy, is Hunk from one of the actual Umbrella teams looking to act.
Son of a...
Take and evacuate the Raccoon City incident with the sample of the G virus. Unfortunately, for the most part, he came to an unfortunate end. However, in this mode, it is revealed that actually Hunk is still alive, also known as the Grim Reaper, and you can actually play as him in this scenario in a very difficult, basically point A to extraction point B, all the way from the underground all the way to the top of RPD. This mode was very popular, and actually a lot of folks ended up playing this who was really hardcore for a good challenge into the game itself after beating it several times. There's also another EX battle mode, but I'm not going to cover this for this particular video. However, another mode that was unlocked if you completed the Fourth Survivor was the Tofu Survivor. So in case you're wondering, the Tofu Survivor actually is an iconic character that started from Resident Evil 2. From all of the different sources I've read, is that Tofu actually is the imaginary hitbox for all the characters in the game, and this was used as a way for playtesting. But as developers and individuals saw this particular Tofu, a fandom started to arise about how this big, huge piece of, actually end up being so popular is they included him in a super, almost impossible mode called the Tofu Survivor. In this particular scenario, you played as Tofu that would have 2 green herbs, 1 blue herb, and just a knife at your fingertips. The beautiful thing with Tofu is that you have the ability to actually run around and kind of do a little speed dash in order to get away from being grabbed and killed with Tofu from the other zombies and other things that you encounter. Obviously, this mode is super hard and difficult, but one thing is not only are you fast as Tofu, you also have the most life in the game, but that's not saying much. You're going through so much. It's exactly the same scenario as Hunk, except the fact that you're Tofu and flying around with a beret on your head, and all you have is a knife. This particular mode is very difficult. However, As we all thought that that was going to be the end of Tofu, he has come up in several other games. There was a Japanese card game for Resident Evil that was done throughout time in the past, no longer valid, that you could play as. There's also a few Easter eggs in the Dark Side Chronicles. There is a Tofu mission you can actually experience, which is, I hear, just replacing zombie models with tofu, and it's called the Tofu mission. As you play Claire Redfield, and all you have is a handgun and knives to shoot all the tofus. But it was also a downloadable piece of content, I believe, in Dead Rising as well. And once you've gone through all of that, you would think to yourself, obviously this character would never come up again. But no. Tofu does come up again in our Resident Evil 2 remake in 2019. And the beautiful thing is, it isn't just tofu. There's a few different variations of tofu. There's the mochi, there's cognac, there's the flan. That's right, I said flan. And I think there's one other variation as well that's included in this. And that is the Resident Evil 2 remake has a different assortment of weapons for each of the different pieces of, gooey goodness when it comes to tofu. Each one of them having either a ton of knives, like the regular tofu. The mochi has a ton of grenades. The cognac has the flamethrower. And then the other two obviously has more. Some has the other one has the Swiss Army. And then another one has, a rocket launcher, as well as, the minigun and things of that nature. So, wonderful playthroughs. There's obviously a lot of people that played this mode. I myself have played most of them and completed most of them as well. And it was so much fun and enjoyable. And that is actually what I'm going to be playing this week, as many folks don't realize the history and the fandom behind Tofu, as Tofu is such a well-renowned character. But knowing that I got comments also in the shorts for the Easter eggs that popped up of what this thing is, there is a good general amount of folks that have no idea where Tofu comes from. And this is where it leads me to Resident Evil Requiem. Tofu actually pops up in 3 different locations in RPD, and you can actually shoot him to see his damaged state like he is in RE2 Remake. So, if we're really looking at the lore of Tofu, Tofu has survived just like the Grim Reaper or Mr. Hunk himself in the 4th Survivor as another additional mode for the remake. All this time since the events of Raccoon City, just roaming around, bouncing around, and taking a look and seeing if he can find the next player roaming through RP. What? Sorry, I get hungry. Every time I talk about Tofu or flan or the different stuff with these games, I just get hungry from it, and I can't help it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and seeing the behind the scenes about Tofu and the history behind it. Keep an eye on the Twitch as well, because I'm going to be playing this week and a few other times, because I love food and things that are associated with video games. So, especially Resident Evil. So, catch you in the next one. Take it easy.